Module 8 Selenium WebDriver class. So in this class we are going to discuss about these items, working with different varieties of web elements like text box, buttons, checkbox, radio button, drop down box, handling alerts and multiple browser windows, and handling mouse movements and keyboard events, capturing screenshots, and using try catch block to handle failure scenarios, and writing result into console, and a interview question answer. You can go through that. Okay, so now let's discuss about text box, how to work with text box. Okay, so go to Eclipse. Let me create a package here, like working with different elements. Okay, let me create a class. Text box demo. I need public static void main method. I'll close this. Okay, so yeah, so now since I'm going to discuss about one particular web element, so I have taken, okay, defined a sample applications, like active time, our sample application, and Facebook I have taken as an example, Gmail, and Times Job, okay, and HDFC. So all these sites are having different varieties of text box. So eventually these text box are same, but it has different varieties of properties and values set. So we'll go one by one. Okay, so we have already seen how to work with this text box. Okay, so let me first take the code from the previous example. So this is one major advantage of Selenium WebDriver. So reusable code you can make use with the new test cases. Okay, so I'm launching this application, and here, so now I have to write a code to identify a text box. So how do you do that? Driver find element by class, and here depends on which strategy I'm going to use to identify object. I will be using that. To know that, go to sample application and check for the HTML tag information for this. How do you do that? Firebug inspector and highlight this. Click on that. When you do that, it will highlight HTML code in source page. Okay, so the tag is input, you know that, and it has property and value set. So as I told you, so first we should look for the ID, next name, and later type values to write XPath or CSS. So this particular pattern, this particular HTML tag doesn't have ID, it does have name. So in my WebDriver, we have already predefined method called as name. Since it has, so that particular web element name I can directly pass, copy and paste it here. Okay, and what action you will be doing? That send keys, some text. So this is how you can write code for the text box. So when you run this, okay, you have already seen this in previous module example, but still I'm explaining this here as a separate concept. Okay, so again let me write for the password as well. So let me find out HTML tag information for password field. So here find out ID and name. Yes, name is there, ID is not there. Second preference for name, I'm taking name property value, go back. So I can make use of this code here again, right? Because same. So property name information is PWD. here some name. Okay, so when I run this, okay, you can run from here. So when I run this program, okay, you can see, so it is launching the browser and launching the application and entering username and password information in the text field. That means it is identifying the web element and writing this. Okay, so this is working. So this is how you can work with this kind of text box. Okay, just close this manually so you can see that here. Okay, so this is one example. Similarly, we'll take another example. So we'll go to Facebook. So I'm taking real applications. Okay, let's see how in real applications HTML information for the text box. Highlight here. So see here, first preference we have to give for ID also there, name also there. So either anyone we can use. So first preference for always for ID. So take value of ID, go back to code. So in fact we can make use of this. Just observe what I will change here. So only thing is I'm going to change this URL where in the place of hosting. Okay, and again I'm finding this right username. So instead of writing this line again, so I can use this. So while you practicing, you write but different code, because here I'm just to save time I'm using the same code. So you can learn that also how you can use. So driver find element by and strategy to find the element. So I'm using name here. So instead of name I'll use ID. See here ID. So type of ID. Okay. So here ID information, come back here. ID is email. Copy this, Control C and come here, Control V, pasting it here. Send. I'm sending the same key. Fine. So you can send some dummy email I'm passing here, email ID. So same way again for the password field. So here ID is there, name also there, other properties also there. First preference of ID, take this and come back and give it here. This you have to change to ID. And send keys, anything. Okay, so if I run this, so it should work as it worked for the active time. So how to run? This time I will right click this and run as Java application. So this is the different way of running application program. Okay, so now we should launch Facebook page and launching the application, Facebook application. So Facebook is initially it is taking time to load. Okay, now it should type email ID and password information. It didn't do that, but still you can see here. See now it has written. Got right? It is working. Close this. Similarly, so let me go back to sample application of Gmail. So Gmail also you can try that. So for this again, click F12 in your keyboard. Firebug has come, inspector, and select here. Here also same HTML. See the application to application HTML hierarchy and HTML code would look bit different, but finally the tag information and property value informations, most of them will be same. So here it has ID and name. So as I told you, first preference for name, ID, and second preference for the name. You can try this. Similarly for password. Okay, see here. And for quick building the XPath, so you can get, if you're writing XPath, you can write XPath from here. I mean, you can get the XPath information for Firepath. Okay, it will give you the ready-made XPath. So that's the use of Firepath. See here, it will give this information. If you're not using name or ID, strategies to identify the web element. So now, so similarly go to times job. Okay, so here when you navigate to different applications, the same browser, so your HTML code is changing for that. If you don't understand, close this, again click on Firebug, you will get this freshly, and again click on inspect element, go to text field which you would like to identify. See here again it has ID and it has name, all those things. Okay, so you can use Firepath this time, XPath. So this time we'll use XPath for this. Take this URL, go back, copy this here, come back here, take the ID of username field, come paste it here, and similarly for password, take it here. Fine. So here you can use direct XPath of this. Fine. Come. So instead of ID, you can use XPath. Okay, even for this also you can use XPath. I am using ID here. For one code I'm using ID, for one field, another field I'm using XPath. Okay, send keys. So if I run this, it should work same as how it worked for the Facebook and active time. So let's wait for some time. Now yeah, it is launching times job. Times job has lot of UIs, images, links. It takes some time to load. See, so it has been typed. Correct, right? So go back here. So it's giving an error, unknown server exception, element not currently visible, so may not be interact with something else. What is that? So the second, this one is giving problem. So since we have copied auto generated XPath information, right, from Firepath, this would be the problem. Okay, that's why I don't advise to use this. Sometimes you can use and sometimes it may not work. Okay, so advisable, you should write your own framework, I mean XPath. Otherwise you can use this, but most of the time don't use. If there is no way to write your own XPath, you're not able to get the writing XPath, then you can use it. So another way to get the XPath, ready-made XPath, use IDE. Okay, come here and so does some action on this. Okay, do some action on this. Select, typing something. So now see, it has generated the code here. Go back, it is giving the CSS target. You can use CSS as well, otherwise search for the XPath. See here, this is the XPath. Okay, copy this. Okay, minimize. You can minimize this and come back to code. Instead of using this, use this. Okay, stop this impact. Close the WebDriver previous one. So again close this, relaunch, rerun this. Okay, okay, now it works. See here. So go back to code, and some error was displayed. Just delete this, close. So see here, this is the path information. Okay, don't forget to remove this XPath while copying this here. Okay, that should not be there. So that's why it was throwing an exception. Now it doesn't throw. Okay, so this is how you can work with the text box. So while working, so take some more different kinds of example and try that. Fine. Now let's go back to the syllabus and see next one is button. Button we have already worked, so I will take one or two example to show that. So this time I will take times job only. Okay, so I'll write So go to the times job application and then let me click on this without entering this informations, and let me click on this. Okay, so anyway I have code for this. I can use username and password and write code to find button by XPath or XPath. So let's decide by looking at the HTML source. So Firebug inspector, highlight this, see here, so which is the best one. Type you can use submit. Write your own XPath here because you don't have type and then name, I mean ID and name. So let's write our own XPath. To write that, click on, go to view XPath and write. So it start from input tag and at type is equal to submit. I can use type property is there, right? So I can use that. Okay, so if I use that, there are many buttons which has type like this. So then I can go for the value. Okay, so value of the button is login. Okay, so but it has some problem, so it is not giving the proper one. Okay, yes, that was wrong. So there are two buttons, so here and here. Okay, so in this particular source HTML source code, there are two buttons which is matching for this. How do you identify this? So this is sometimes tricky. Then use bracket to point to the first one. Yeah, so take this, copy and go to ID and highlight this, otherwise don't use ID. Type here and highlight this. See, you can see that button is highlighting. That means this is the button which we are looking, and there is one more button, so that is we are not pointing. So you can see that button property also. Go here, see, even that value also button only. Fine. In that case, what we can do, so we can use this one. Sorry. Go to this and copy this. Okay, you can use bracket like this to group. Copy this, minimize, go to this and XPath. Okay, click is the action. Okay, click method is available under this find element once after this. So to understand purpose, go here and see what all methods are there. We'll do a lot of we'll take a lot of example to understand them. Now let's run this and see. Browser is launched, application is posted. Now we should type username, that is login information. Just keep observing here. Okay, still it is alive. See, it is red, that means still it is working. So this button, I think it is not typing, some problem is there. Go to Eclipse and see, there is an error. Okay, element not found. Okay, so I'm suspecting this button has asked you some problem, and on this one, so maybe this application must be having some HTML problem. So what I'll do, I'll just comment this. Okay, so for demo purpose, since I am taking multiple examples, right, so maybe this example may not be right one, so in your application definitely it will work. Okay, so let me run only this, let me click only on this. Okay, so close this, run. Okay, so still it is not typing on this button. Let's go to okay, so still element not visible exception. Let's see. So for this I have a solution. So first let me close this. I'm suspecting because of the delay, page load delay. So what we can do after maximized, after even application hosted, so after maximized, sorry, after browser is created, right? So go to driver and give the, go to manage and select timeout and implicit wait 30 seconds, time unit in seconds. So this is the code line to give global time settings delay 30 seconds. You can use even milliseconds, hours, minutes also. Since I'm using 30 seconds as a parameter, I'm passing 30 here. This is the code to set global delay. So for each action it takes minimum, it waits for 30 seconds to identify the web element. If any element displayed within this, it does the action and go ahead. If any element is not displayed, so it wait till 30 seconds and then it will proceed for the next line. So I'm suspecting this error, it is because of the page load delay. Let's see that. Okay, close this. So remember this code, implicitly wait. In interview you will get the question. This is for the global time setting. Okay, so run this again. Yeah, so now it works. It clicks on this and giving login ID password cannot be left blank. Okay, so this is how you can achieve, you can work on the buttons. Okay, so this kind of hurdles definitely will be there while working, so you should find different ways. One is you can use IDE to write XPath or CSS to get the quick expressions, and you can use XPath checker. Okay, IHELS, you can use XPath checker. Okay, otherwise you can write your own XPath by looking at the HTML tags. All these exercises you can do it. Fine. So this is how you can do it. This is how you can work with text box. Sorry, buttons. So buttons. Okay.